Good evening, everyone. You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Monday, the 22nd of July. I'm Jasmine Patterson. Thanks for joining us. Well, the sale of Belco to Algonquin Power and Utilities one step closer to completion. A special general meeting has been called for shareholders on August 9th. That's when they will vote on whether to accept the $36 per share offer made by Algonquin, and which will determine whether the sale will go ahead or not. The approval of the regulatory authority notwithstanding, of course. Well, Gary Moreno broke the story on the proposed sale back in June and tells us more in this report.
The special AGM is set to take place at the Harborview Ballroom of the Fairmont Hamilton Princess at 9:30 a.m. on August 9th. However, the final sale is contingent upon the approval of the regulatory authority, a yes vote from holders of not less than two-thirds of the total issued and outstanding shares of the company, as well as that of the Minister responsible for regulatory affairs, Walter Raban.
Any say the government has, Mr. Moreno, is subject to some very strict criteria, which was a part of some directions that I gave, which I have the power to do so under legislation. So whatever choices I have to make are very rigidly governed. I don't have an open door to some discretionary power to make a decision about the sale on grounds that there will be no basis for not making a decision. But ultimately, this is a process and a procedure that is subject to regulatory approval in the end, and the government will certainly have its opportunity to pine in on that at certain point.
The Ascendant Board has determined that the sale, or what it calls the amalgamation, on the terms and conditions set out in the agreement, is advisable and in the best interest of Ascendant, and that the proposal be submitted to the shareholders for their consideration, and, if thought suitable, approved at the special general meeting. The board recommends that the shareholders vote for the proposal. Ascendant's directors, management and other insiders representing a total of just over 2 million or 22% of all issued and outstanding shares of the company have expressed their intention to vote in favor of the proposal. The company has implemented a long-term incentive plan and issued retention share awards designed to promote the interests of the company and its shareholders by attracting and retaining executive officers and other key employees and enabling such individuals to participate in the long-term growth and financial success of the company while aligning their interests with the interests of shareholders generally. The current executive officers, as well as two former executive officers of the company, are entitled to 748,000 shares. And the current executive officers of the company, one of whom is also a director, are also entitled to cash awards totaling $662,000. To the extent not yet vested, all such awards will vest upon the change of control resulting from the amalgamation. These share entitlements do not carry, though, the right to vote at the special general meeting. However, if the amalgamation is approved by the shareholders, the current and former officers will be entitled to receive the per-share consideration for such share entitlements, and such cash awards will be paid at the effective time. Now, one former officer of both Ascendant and Belco is now the current chief executive of the regulatory authority. That person, believed to be Denton Williams, and he, like others, is entitled to a portion of the historic share awards. Given these two facts, the former officer has confirmed that he will not have any involvement in the authority's consideration of the amalgamation and the resulting change of process. The regulatory authority, you may remember, has repeatedly stated Mr. Outerbridge is not conflicted. Elsewhere, the regulatory authority has not yet given its approval for the sale of Belco to Algonquin, and there is talk that the minister may only approve a partial sale. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thank you, Gary, for that report, and we'll have more for you after this short break, including all the latest on weather. Stay with us.
I was the poster child of health. I exercised, I ate fruits and vegetables, and went to bed early. I was convinced that I was throwing away my money paying health insurance every month. Then I had a bike accident and things changed. Thankfully, everything was covered by my insurance. I was one of the lucky ones. Some of my boys don't even have insurance.
Imagine a Bermuda where every person has access to the care they need when they need it most. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Rising Inferno, in association with Driven Society, presents Ide and Soul Fest Night 3. Night 3. It's Sunday, July 28th at the Fairmont, Southampton, featuring the iconic Stephanie Mills, and her band, live in Bermuda. Also, Donnell Jones. Early Warm by Juggling Jason and local act, the Wall Street Band. Hosted by Nadunja. Tickets are $150 more at the door. Get your tickets from Choices, 27th Century Boutique, Menco, Bananas Party Boutique, and ptix.bm. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Showtime 7 p.m. It's Island Soul Fest, Night 3. Stephanie Mills, Donnell Jones, together for a night of soul. It's Sunday, July 28th at the Fairmont Southampton.
Charged with allegedly producing a so-called drill music video. Appearing in magistrate's court, 34-year-old Ezra Ararat of Devonshire and 44-year-old Raymond Swan of Pembroke. Both were accused of threatening to do injury to law enforcement officials by making and publishing an online music video advocating for the shooting of police, prosecutors, and judges between the 17th and 19th of July this year. They both deny the charge. While Senior Magistrate Juan Wolf granted the defendants bail in the amount of $15,000 each with 2 like sureties. They are due back in court on the 18th of August. Well, British Airways pilots have voted in favor of strike action over a dispute over pay, threatening to walk out over a key summer holiday period. Well, according to the BBC in London, the British Airline Pilots Association said 93% of its members had voted in favor of industrial action. A strike would be likely to cause severe disruption, as BALPA represents about 90% of the airline's pilots. BA said it was very disappointed that the union was threatening the travel plans of thousands of our customers. The union said it did not yet have any dates for a potential strike, adding it still hoped that the dispute could be resolved, while British Airways said it remained open to working with the union to reach an agreement and continue to pursue every avenue to find a solution to protect our customers' travel plans and avoid industrial action. While pilots have rejected a pay increase worth 11.5% over 3 years, which the airline says is fair and generous. However, the Pilots Association argues that its members deserve a better offer, as BA has been making healthy profits. And we'll be sure to keep abreast of this developing story. Well, let's see if we have any rain coming our way. Our tanks could certainly use a top-up. AccuWeather brings us the latest weather forecast.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast on ZBM is brought to us by the folks at the BF&M Insurance Group, and we have a pretty good setup here this evening. There's a small chance for a stray shower, but really we've been pretty unimpressed by the amount of moisture in the neighborhood aloft. This is something we're keeping an eye on. It's a disturbance that will probably become more organized, and it may become a tropical depression, possibly even a tropical storm. East of Florida or Georgia, it will eventually be pushing north. It's pulling from the Bahamas into an area due north of its current location, and then a front that is on the map in the northeastern U.S. is going to kind of be a roadblock near the Carolina coast. It will eventually allow upper-level winds to scoop it up and push it offshore to the northeast, but we are far enough east that we're probably not going to face this storm directly. So it's nothing to lose sleep over, but it will lead to some enhanced waves and some challenging boating weather later this week, along with some additional showers, even with the heart of this thing passing to our north and west. Right now we're warm, 86 degrees, humidity around 75%, winds kind of shifting from the south and the west in general around the southwest for most of the evening at 10 to 15 knots. Water temps a nice 85. On the inside, we have 1 foot waves. Some spots it's even flatter than that. On the outside, there are 2 to 4 footers. So boating weather is good now, but things will be changing later this week. We have low tide coming up soon at 7:07 this evening. High tide late tonight. Low tide 7:46 tomorrow morning. And then a mid-afternoon or early afternoon high tide at 1:52 on your Tuesday. So tonight, mainly clear, warm and humid, and again, mainly clear skies, but there may be a couple of little cloud clusters that roll through, and there might be a stray shower or two. It'll be a warm night, though. Warm overnight lows around 79 tonight, 80 tomorrow night, and in between an 87-degree high tomorrow. So we're locked into this warm and humid weather pattern here in the heart of summer, and it'll be a humid time as well with stray showers out there. Here's Futurecast showing the limited coverage of any showers around. We're keeping an eye on this larger cluster of disturbed weather pulling north from the Bahamas to an area east of the Georgia, South Carolina coast tomorrow evening. That's the time that this system could become more organized, but again, it is probably not going to be a strong storm. Tropical depression, maybe a tropical storm. Regardless, we're watching this area of possible tropical development near the Bahamas, pulling north. Down into the Caribbean we go with scattered showers and storms into Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago. All these areas could see the occasional brief shower. Toronto's cooler and drier, 77, a nice break in the heat and humidity there. There will be some lingering showers, especially in the morning in New York and into Boston. Cooler, eventually less humid as well. Look at Atlanta, only 79 with a front in the neighborhood. Miami, still steamy. London, hot there, 89 degrees there in the United Kingdom. Locally, we have an increasing chance for a better likelihood of showers into Wednesday and Thursday. With our tropical system passing to the west, we don't see any relief from the heat and humidity. Consistently very warm and humid out there. Friday and Saturday will trend a little drier after we say goodbye to the Thursday system.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
This summer I was in Germany on holiday with my family, and on a whim one day my son and I joined a speed sliding competition, and as I came down the water slide I went straight down in the pool and whacked my left foot on the bottom of the pool, and I looked down and I didn't see a foot. I just saw the bones sticking out and I started to feel faint. I was ambulanced to a hospital where I stayed for 11 days and had surgery. I had snapped all the ligaments on both sides of my ankle. And in the middle of all this stress and pain, we thought, how are we going to deal with health insurance? How will we pay for this? And I got a response from Allison at BF&M, and she said, your admission and surgery will be covered at 100%. I didn't have to put it on a credit card and deal with the reimbursement later. It made such a big difference to us. And for me, the BF&M difference is stress-free insurance when I really needed it.
Global digital asset company Circle has been licensed and approved to set up a new subsidiary in Bermuda with the intention of adding over 30 jobs to the island's economy within 2 years. Premier David Byrd at a cabinet office today, flanked by Minister of Finance Curtis Dickinson, and Circle executives said the partnership is evidence of fintech being the driver in growing the economy.
And I want to ensure the people of Bermuda that this is just the beginning.
In January, this partnership was in its infancy, while Premier David Byrd attended the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. 4 months later, Circle submitted an application to the Bermuda Monetary Authority to be licensed under the Digital Asset Business Act. And today, it became the first major fintech company to receive a full exchange license to operate on our shores.
Circle is a new kind of financial services company backed by top-tier institutions, including Goldman Sachs, and is one of 39 fintech unicorns in the world, valued at over $1 billion. Circle was founded in 2013 on the belief that open blockchain technologies would replace the world's closed, proprietary financial systems, allowing everyone, everywhere to participate in an economy that is fairer, more inclusive, and more accessible.
Circle will establish its main headquarters for non-U.S. clients in Bermuda, with the pledge to hire more than 30 staff.
Circle will start recruiting for positions immediately, and I'm looking forward to working with them, not only to grow their international operations, but as we look to make financial services work better in Bermuda for those people who call this island home.
An office is due to be set up over the next 24 months, where staff will work in risk, finance management, and trading. Co-founder and CEO Jeremy Allaire said its firm had high confidence in the island's regulatory framework.
What we learned was that this was one of the most progressive, thoughtful, and comprehensive regulatory frameworks for digital assets and crypto in the world. And so we were very compelled to apply.
With such high confidence in Circle's commitment to the island, we asked the question whether the premier felt disappointed in those partnerships with Binance and Arbitrade falling on the wayside.
In Bermuda, we have a licensing process, and companies are allowed and are ones that have to go through the licensing process. That's what we have set out with Bermuda Monetary Authority. We've always had that set out with Bermuda Monetary Authority, and there are companies that are engaged in the licensing process as we speak. We have a very high bar, and that high bar is there for a reason. A lot of companies hit a barrier when it came to banking services, but Circle is a different type of financial services company.
Circle now adds Bermuda to its list of existing operational hubs, including the U.S., the U.K., Ireland, and Hong Kong. The premier also stated there has been an increased interest in the blue chip and crypto industry. So far, 7 fintech companies have established offices here, 12 work permits approved for stakeholders to build their business, and 7 Bermudians were employed within this industry. Well, he was once a passionate PLP member before deciding to join the UBP when in the 2003 general election he almost caused a political earthquake by coming within 8 votes of defeating a sitting PLP premier. And now, after a momentous career in the public eye as first mayor of St. George and then MP for St. George's North, Kenneth Bascom tonight thanking the public for their support as he takes a bow from public office. Troy Trott sat down with him for a wide-ranging interview to reflect on the highs and lows of a long journey in politics.
Look up the definition of a St. Georgian, and you will find Kenneth Bascom's name next to it.
My name is Kenneth Bascom. I am very proud of what I've been able to accomplish.
Mr. Bascom, now calling time on his political career, recently wrote a letter to the editor to thank those who supported him throughout his more than 20 years in public service.
I want to thank Mr. Smith, the editor, for the little pizzazz that he actually put with it. I didn't expect that. I just wanted to thank the public for the support over the years.
At his political zenith, Mr. Bascom was elected mayor of St. George's first in 2009 and again in 2012 when he resigned to serve as MP for St. George's North after defeating former Premier Dame Jennifer Smith. But it was his defeat to George Dowling in the St. George's municipal elections in May that led him to his decision to bow out of politics.
Well, I said after George had, Mr. Dowling had, I would say, trunched me severely, I decided that I would basically step away from public life as far as being voted for.
Many will remember the 2003 general election in which you lost narrowly to then Premier Dame Jennifer Smith by just 8 votes. Did that do anything to bolster your confidence in representing the people of St. George's?
My wife and I went to Tobacco Bay in 1975. And from that, I decided to stand for the Corporation of St. George. You have to be aware that I worked very diligently with Dame Jennifer Smith because I believe that she had the community of St. George's at heart. They threw me aside just as if I was a little bit of dirty water.
Mr. Bascom credits his mother for inspiring him to serve.
And I say to people that the highlight of my life has been to make my mother proud.
I know your mother means a lot to you.
Yes, sir.
It's okay.
Many might not know that he is also an environmentalist at heart and has championed the protection of open, green spaces, the lack of which he attributes to what he sees as the demise of the family unit.
What I meant then is that we were losing like open space where children can just go and play games and things of that. Everywhere now it's basically a house, you understand? And I believe that the demise of the family has come down now to this cable TV and everything's electronic.
As to which role he enjoyed more, the mayor of St. George or MP for St. George, Mr. Bascom said, of course, it was serving as mayor of the old town, something he saw as more enjoyable. And we'll bring you more from our interview with Mr. Bascom tomorrow, including the reason he says crime in St. George's has become more of a concern. While still to come, Earl Basin will have all the latest sports news in just a few minutes.
Time in a bad mind, on the run things every time. I don't have flex, no girl vex. What anyway, follow put your hands on again. Now me no stop love how the girl them flex. Pay and clothes and make a next girl flex. Me no stop love how the woman them a flex. No stop live big and make a next girl. Me all a walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of money, girl, tell me where you get it from. Knock on your entrance, ram pa pa pam pam. Sing along. I would like to be the only in your life. I want to be the only man, real one if I wanna make sure.
You may not be a movie star.
Well, they say, oh, God bless. On the nose.
Yeah, we in a top farm. Louis V don't no fat farm. With smarty that or the that.
Oh, now you're getting paid, not playing. Pushing Escalade and rocking Prada. No more drama with your day. Yeah, but I'm getting paid, not played.
Every home tells a story. Your story is all yours.
Big kid, too cool. I make my own rules.
Wherever you live, whatever your style, express yourself.
My style says what's up. Don't wanna ever grow up.
So many styles to help tell your story and create your unique dream home.
We're gonna stand out, break away from the crowd.
Start shopping for furniture at U.S. prices today. Lifestyle Furniture is Bermuda's newest furniture store and is proud to be the home of the #1 furniture company in the world, Ashley Furniture. Visit lifestylefurniture.bm or stop by our showrooms today. Lifestyle Furniture, this is home.
Bermuda played their final match of the Women's Under-20 CONCACAF Championships against Antigua in Guyana last evening, picking up a 5-1 victory. Coach Nikita Robinson summed up the tour this way.
A bit disappointed, not to qualify. We ended the tournament. Our last 2 matches, we scored 11 goals. Scored 12 goals in total. The most goals of any team in this group. Unfortunately, gave up 6 goals. Give up 4 defensive errors, and the other 2 were goals, but it doesn't make sense dwelling on that. The girls understand the process. They understand, again, having a very young team, 3-4 years behind the actual age group. They showed a lot of maturity in this tournament. We went into today's match as if we were playing for first or second place. Didn't go in thinking that, we're just going to play around and act a fool. We actually went for it. And that's something as a coach that I can appreciate.
St. David's Cricket Club retained the Eastern County Cup on Saturday after posting a score of 226 for 8. This after being sent to bat by challengers Bailey's Bay. Dowon Borden was the top scorer with 79, while O.J. Pitcher added 64. Zico Burgess was the pick of the Bailey's Bay bowlers with 8 overs, 1 maiden, 4 for 44. In reply, Bailey's Bay fell 20 runs short of their target as stumps were pulled at 7:20. Captain Terran Frey scored 69 and Rodney Trott added 53. Justin Pitcher was the pick of the St. David's bowlers with 12 overs, 3 maidens, 4 for 56. The Rugby Americas North Under-19 tournament concluded in Barbados, where Bermuda would take to the field on the final day of the tournament to take on Trinidad and Tobago in the 3rd and 4th place match. Bermuda would go down 22-15 to finish the tournament in 4th place. Bermuda ended the Cayman Sports Festival going down to Port Arthur in their final basketball match, 106-70. Eric Lambert was the top scorer for Bermuda with 21 points. He also grabbed 15 rebounds. Nicole Mitchell continued competing in the Intelligentsia Cup in Chicago, which is a series of 10 criteriums over 10 days. Racing continued with the challenging course of Ray Whalen Builders Tour of Lake Ellen. Competing in the women's Pro 1-2 division, Mitchell finished 32nd. Meanwhile, Bermuda youngsters competed in the John T. Cycle Memorial Race. The six-man squad was being led by Caden Hopkins and Connor White, who competed in the 129-kilometer elite race. Nick Narroway and Kieran Mallott competed in the junior category, which was over 100 kilometers, and Nazari Fox and Liam Flannery contested in the 55-kilometer cadet division. White finished second in the elite field, with Hopkins finishing down the field. Narroway, fresh off his recent performance at the Junior Tour of Ireland, won the junior event, while Mallett finished fifth. Fox and Flannery crossed the line fourth and fifth in the cadet race. The Aries Sport Fighting Championships hosted two types of competition under the tent at the National Sports Center on Saturday evening. The categories consist of Chinese kickboxing, sanda, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Picking up big wins on the night were Rael Bowen, who defeated his opponent from the USA, Dustin Knight. Krista Dyer defeated Sarah Peterson from the USA, and Lonnie Bascom won his match against Nicholas Kusmic from Canada. The Bermuda Motorcycle Racing Club's season resumed at the Rubis Southside Motorsports Park. In the mini bike advanced class, Sean Simmons took the checkered flag in 3 consecutive races. Marcus Pimentel won all 3 races in the scooter 70 class, while Devon Bailey took the checkered flag in all 3 scooter open class races. Aiden Lopes won 2 of the 3 scooter 4-stroke class races, with Bradley Adams winning the other. Meanwhile, Jair Mitchell went to the start gate alongside 41 other riders on the Canadian motocross circuit. Mitchell continues to compete for Team Holeshot Motorsports and went to the start line for 2 motos. Mitchell finished the first race in 9th place. He would then finish the second moto in 11th place to finish 9th overall. The Comet class was once again on the waters off the Mid-Atlantic Sailboat Club in Devonshire, competing for the Lawrence Stickers Henderson Senior Race. Maxwell Curtis and his crew, Stephen Ferbert, put together yet another solid day on the water with 4 wins. Dale Brangman and his crew, Giorgio Swan, was second after finishing with 2 seconds and 2 third-place finishes. Quentin Simons and his crew, Greg Proctor, finished third with a second, 2 thirds, and 1 fourth-place finish. The team portion of the 2019 Junior Caribbean Area Squash Association's tournament continued in Trinidad, with Bermuda boys and girls teams taking to the court. The Bermuda girls defeated British Virgin Islands 3-1 in their first match on day 2, and in their second match of the day, the Bermuda girls would fall 4-1 to Barbados. The Bermuda boys defeated St. Vincent and the Grenadines 4-1 in their lone match on day 2. Members of the Bermuda Pacers Track Club continued marking the 38th appearance at the 2019 Russell E. Blunt East Coast Invitational Track Meet by making podium appearances on day 3. During the 8 and under division girls 800 meters, Rihanna Robinson won the gold medal with a time of 3:03.61. Jazari Tolbert won the 15-16 girls 800 meter gold medal with a time of 2:29.69. John Dow Cumberbatch won the 17-18 division men's 800 meter gold medal with a time of 1:59.24. Sancho Smith won the 15-16 boys high jump gold medal with a top leap of 1.80 meters. The 9-10 girls 4x400 meter relay team won the silver medal with a time of 5:04.45. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Micah Franklin has been a professional squash player for the past 8 years. The 3-time Bermuda National Squash Champion has come through the ranks and captured major titles locally and internationally for Bermuda. In 2018, he won the bronze medal in the men's squash doubles in the CAC Games. On local soil, he won his first Bermuda Squash National title in 2014. 4 years later, Micah qualified for the Double Commonwealth Games and CAC Games in 2018. In 2019, the stakes have been raised. He'll represent Bermuda proudly at the Pan Am Games, seeking to finish in the top 8 in the men's individual championships, in the top 4 in the men's doubles, and top 8 in the men's team event.
I got these for seasickness last week, and they're terrible.
That's strange.
I know. I put one behind each ear like you're supposed to, and nothing happened.
These are tablets. You're meant to take them with water.
I got this pump for my asthma. Hasn't changed anything.
Show me how you're using it. It's an inhaler. You're meant to breathe it in.
Well, this toothpaste? Definitely off.
It's a hemorrhoid cream.
That explains why my gums are shrinking.
Thank you all for watching. I'm Jasmine Patterson. Good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company,